So, I got up at 4 o'clock so that I could leave around 4:45 in the morning to take my son to SeaTac Airport for his flight to Canada. So we got there, dropped him off. I'm driving away and I get a call. He forgot his passport. Yeah. So we live on an island. This isn't like race home, get the passport, race back, hope it all works out type of thing. You got to deal with boats and boat schedules. So first of all, we're like, is it even possible? Can I go home? Can I make it back to the airport with the passport? The answer is no, not possible at all. Okay. Who do we know on the island who can go to our house and get my son's passport out of our house, drive up to the North End Ferry, and then can they drive across, can they walk across, or can we beg and plead desperately for the really kind people on the boat to actually carry it across for us? Okay. So I call someone who lives really close by. He doesn't answer. Granted, it's about 6:10 in the morning at this point. Who's awake? And you're sitting here thinking, I'm going to have to feed this person like 3 meals and 5 apple pies, right? Anyways, so then I thought, well, I'll try this other person. Meanwhile, my son's like, this is a really expensive ticket that he spent like $700 and some odd dollars for because he thought that where he was going was at the end of August, and instead it's now. So this is like big bucks on the line, and it's all right. I've already been like, why are you going? Like, just skip it this year. But he's committed, right? Okay. So finally, we're sitting here thinking this doesn't work. And he can't cancel it. So I call someone else, a really good friend who knows how much you spent on the ticket. And I wake him up, second call, and he's like, what's up? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh shit. Okay, I'll go right now. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going to get waved down the exit lane here in a second by the ferry lady. Okay, hold on a sec. Hello. I know, it's the 2 spots right next to there. Sure.
Easiest thing to do is to go down there and back in so that you can get
Yes, exactly. Because
You are welcome to go.
Now, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Okie doke. So, okay, so we call this friend. Well, my son's trying to figure out if there's anything he can do on his end. And he's in line at this point asking if they can put him on a later flight, blah, blah, blah. Sorry for the beeping. It's because I don't have my seatbelt on. So he's doing that while I'm driving to the ferry dock, trying to find someone who can go to our house, right? So this friend, he's like, I can do it. Bada boom. And the friend has just recently bought a new vehicle, which happens to be a huge, giant bus. Like a big bus. He's gonna, outfit it or whatever. Hold on, I gotta back into the spot here. Okay, here I am. Okay, so he's like, okay, I'm heading over there. And so I'm back and forth between everyone. I'm texting the friend. I'm like, in case I didn't hear from him on the phone as easily, in case I was on the phone with Jordy, I text him like, here's where to find it. So I end up calling him just as he's like, I'm in the house. I'm like, okay. And thankfully, actually, I've been doing bills for the last 2 days and doing my budget and reorganizing all this stuff and getting on top of everything. Now that this is part of my summer of adjustment, now that I'm divorced, and I'm using ChatGPT to help me organize things. And so it's all sitting there in the middle of the living room, very easy, little box. It took him like on the phone, I think it took like 1.5 minutes to find the passport. Boom. And he's off. Okay. So the thing is, you never know if the ferry workers on the dock and you have ferry workers on the boat. Now, the dock people work for one sort of like legal entity, business organization, part of the state. The people on the boats work for a different entity. And the people in the boats are like gods. They basically, they are like federalized because they're out there on the water. So they're in a different legal distinction. And every once in a while we'll have like, the Coast Guard will have like these small little boats with giant machine guns mounted on them, zooming along next to the ferries and stuff. If there's ever like, and there's all this stuff, people like, you gotta be careful about terrorism and all this stuff. So it's like the boat workers, what they do and don't do is up to them, and no one can really complain, but you can beg and plead. So I'm here, and I'm down talking to Susie, who's the supervisor here at the dock, and I'm like, here's the situation. She says, well, can he drive over? I said, no, he has this big giant bus, and it costs like $100 to get it back on the ferry. And he's nervous because he just bought it yesterday. He's not sure how well it works, and he doesn't want to deal with that. And she's like, can you walk it over? I'm like, I'll check. So I call, and he's like, no, I can't do that because I got my dog in the van. I just bought it. I don't want to leave him alone. I was like, I get it. You've already done enough. No problem. I'm like, we will pray to the gods that the ferry workers will be okay with this. So, boat workers. So all this is going on. Meanwhile, my kid's at the airport, and he's like, okay, well, they, even if you get it, Mom, I'm only going to have like 14 minutes to try to get to my flight. I'm like, yeah, so you have to ask them if they'll expedite you through security. And he's like, I don't have a first class ticket. Why would they do that for me? I said, because they want your money anyways. They want you in the seat. I said, this is that thing you see in movies where you have people running through the airport, their bags are flying, and their sunglasses are flying and everything because they're racing. And I said, this can happen. They can get you to the front of the line, security you, and you race, and you see if you catch it. So he's talking to them about that. And thank you. The really nice people on the boat were like, okay, fine, we'll carry it across. So I'm here in this special little parking spot right next to where the boat comes in. So when the boat rolls in, I'll be standing there like this. It's like a handoff, when they do that thing where they're doing the relays, like my hand, I'll be like running for the car with my hand behind me singing, slap that passport in my hand, because what we want is me to be able to drive out of here in front of an entire boatload of traffic so I don't get stuck here behind a bunch of traffic. And I'm thinking, okay, so I get the passport. If the ferry's on time, if it's moving fast, it'll get here in 15 minutes instead of 20. And then it takes 18 minutes to get to the airport from here. And we're like, okay, where are we going to meet so that I can then Jordy will be like in that position, ready for me to throw the passport in his hand so he can race to the gate. So this has been the last 49 minutes of my life. So here's the saving grace. First of all, boat people said yes, yay. So we know passport's coming. Secondly, turns out they have a flight to Calgary that leaves at 3 p.m. They have a seat on it. They can put Jordy on that flight if he pays like $110 or something dollars for, the flight change. And, trying to catch the early morning one with me zooming in like that thing is insane. So I think he's going to go ahead and he's like, well, Mom, well, can you pick me up? I don't know where to go for the next 6 hours. And I'm like, well, you could just sit at the airport, but I'll hang out. We're going to go find somewhere to sit and relax and hang out for a while. So it looks like it's all going to work out. And it's been a morning. Let's put it that way. And, yeah. Thankfully, the cats had food and water before I left because I think they're trapped in the house. They'll be mad at me when I get home. And, I had work plans today, but I'm still healing with this foot injury. So I actually canceled. And as it is, thankfully, I'm just sitting. So this is not bad for my foot, but passports. Oh, and after our friend had left, and the passports are in the hand of people who we can't communicate with. Jordy's like, Mom, can you send me a photo of the passport? And I'm like, well, I don't have the passport. You know, it's on the other side of the water still. And the lady, for some reason at the airport, like, wants a photo of the passport. And I'm like, and he says, well, haven't you sent me a photo of my passport at some point before? And I'm thinking, yeah, probably. So we get off the call, and I texted him. I'm like, look, I can send you a photo at 7:25 when I get the passport in hand. And then I thought, wait a minute, I wonder if I can search my photos. So I went to photos, and I went into search. I wrote passport, and boom, all the photos of passports that I've taken over the years popped up. And sure enough, there was Jordy's. So I was able to send that to him. Yeah. So, yay, it's all working out. And that was my morning. So, how are you doing today?